The Hell Devil Emperor was unable to come to the Nine-Heaven world, but through the resources he possessed and his powerful strength, he was able to gain a great deal of influence in the Nine-Heaven world and the Endless Heaven realm. Directly interfering with the normal operation of these worlds, not only did God's realm not punish him, he did not even stop him. This made Xianxia angry in his heart. He felt that the God's realm was deliberately allowing the Hell Devil Emperor to do this, so there was no need for this kind of God's realm to exist. I will pay attention to your surroundings at all times. As long as anyone approaches, I will be able to sense them within 100 miles, especially those people with powerful strength. It is easier for me to discover them. Long Shui said, if there are too many sacred masters chasing after me, I can only temporarily escape. If there are one or two of them, you can make a move too. If you want to let them know, killing me to change divine deity won't be that easy. Xianxia sneered. He could not wait to see a divine realm expert appear right now. With his and Long Shui's strength, even if they could not kill each other, it would be fine to let the other party suffer a small loss. Regarding the curse on the Hell Devil Emperor, Xianxia did not feel that there was anything wrong with his body, nor did he know how well the Hell Devil Emperor grasped his position. Xianxia flew above the nine-spirit heavenly sea, and below him was a huge stretch of land. He flew for many days, but still could not find any lively islands, all of which were destroyed by people. Originally, Xianxia was still a little nervous. Being chased and beaten up by a group of powerful Saint Masters was not an easy task. But 10 days had passed and no one came chasing after him. This made Xianxia feel much less pressured, and was able to concentrate on searching for the island where the growth medicine was coming from. However, just as he was relaxing his vigilance, both he and Long Shui suddenly sensed an extremely sharp qi approaching them, and it was even somewhat familiar. This aura seems to have come from that new Thunder Emperor of the heavenly region. Could it be that the other saint rulers have come as well? Long Shui said in a shocked voice, only his aura is left. He should be the only one here. Do you want to deal with him? Thunder Emperor. A powerful and domineering middle-aged man surfaced in Xianxia's mind. Back then, he had used the bone-melting magic palm to cripple Thunder Emperor's son. Now that Hell Devil Emperor was using divine deity to place a bounty on him, it was not strange that Thunder Emperor would come to kill him. As the strongest in the Saint Thunder Sky Realm, as well as the Thunder Emperor in charge of the Saint Thunder Sky Realm, his strength was probably much stronger than other Saint Realm experts. Forget it, for this guy to be able to find me, it must be because of his speed. It seems like the Hell Devil Emperor is very clear on my position. If a Saint Lord were to suddenly appear while we were halfway, it would be extremely disadvantageous for me. After Xianxia finished speaking, he used the power of space to teleport instantly and disappeared from this area in the blink of an eye. Xianxia's current location was extremely far away from where he was just now. He estimated that even a holy master as fast as the Thunder Emperor would need a few days to reach him. The space in the heavenly realm was not like the 9 heaven worlds. Even if it could shatter space here, space would instantly repair itself in an instant. Even the powerful Saint Realm cultivators would find it difficult to travel through space as easily as Xianxia. Although the Saint Realm cultivators could travel through space, they were not far from each other and their locations were not accurate. Xianxia had fused with the spatial rule spiritual bead and was very familiar with the laws of space. He could easily use the power of space, so when he was shuttling through space, he was like a fish back in water. That won't do. If I don't kill one or two of these saints, they will think I'm scared. I have to let them know how powerful I am. Xianxia floated in the air with his fists clenched tightly. Long Shui said, then let's find one to teach him a lesson. It would be best if he can get rid of him. Xianxia was still in the Western Sea right now and continued to search for those islands. He even slowed down while flying, and since the Hell Devil Emperor had control over his movements, there would be holy masters who would find him soon. Usually, they would be the fastest to arrive here. In just the past 3 days, Long Shui had already sensed that someone was rapidly approaching. Previously, when the Thunder Emperor was approaching, Xianxia and he had noticed it at the same time, but now, Xianxia did not feel it at all, which made him feel that it was very strange. Why didn't I sense it? Could it be that this fellow that came here is hiding? Xianxia asked doubtfully. Is that so? This guy has a very arrogant aura, and that aura is extremely annoying. How is it possible that you can't feel such an obvious aura? Long Shui was also confused. Even if I don't want to feel it, with the force of the qi, it would be hard for me not to sense it. Chun Xiang did not move, but simply floated in the air, waiting for the holy master who had come to kill him. He had already decided that no matter the cost, he would let this holy saint who came to kill him learn a lesson. He didn't have to wait too long before that saint arrived. He wore a white robe and carried a long sword on his back. His hair was white at the temples. Long Shui and Chun Xiang couldn't tell where he came from, but he was definitely a saint. "You are here to kill me?" Chun Xiang asked. "It looks like you already know about the killing order issued by the Hell Devil Emperor." "My luck is good. I was able to find you so quickly." The man smiled and casually held the sword on his back in his hand. "You are from the South Sea Holy Sword Sect?" Chun Xiang asked again. He was not nervous nor was he afraid, but the current easygoing look he had surprised the man. "This should be the first time you've seen me. I didn't expect you to recognize me." The man smiled slightly. "I am the leader from the Sacred Sword Sect, Zhang Shijin." Zhang Shijin. This name is rather strange. Chun Xiang rubbed his nose, then looked at the ordinary-looking longsword in Zhang Shijin's hand. "When you were fighting me, if you were to be within 10 swords, your opponent would either die or lose." Zhang Shijin was still smiling, but his smile was filled with arrogance. "So you never lost?" Chun Xiang could already feel the strong sword intent from the other party. "Not in the past, and not in the future, but now it's even more impossible to lose." Zhang Shijin suddenly raised the sword in his hand and aimed it at Chun Xiang's throat, but did not stab forward. When he met Chun Xiang, he was not in a hurry to make a move. He was not afraid of Chun Xiang running away, nor was he afraid of the other saint rulers coming over. Chun Xiang laughed. A majority of people who use swords had this kind of arrogance. "I wonder how you compare to the Sword Emperor of our 9-heaven world?" Chun Xiang saw that the other party was not in a hurry to attack, so he did not attack in a hurry either. "The Sword Emperor of your 9-heaven world has disappeared a long time ago. He should be dead, and I'm the Sword Emperor now. I'll go to the 9-heaven world in the future and let them know who the real Sword Emperor is." Zhang Shijin laughed. Seeing that Chun Xiang did not have any thoughts of fighting, he asked, "Are you trying to escape?" Chun Xiang laughed heartily. "If I were to escape, you wouldn't be able to see me at all. I just want you to take advantage of this situation to take a look at this world and talk a bit more." Zhang Shijin laughed out loud. "You're really arrogant, but since you got the Hell Devil Emperor to issue such a wanted poster to you, you shouldn't be as weak as you look." "Arrogant. Same here." What Chun Xiang said just now was the truth. The previous Thunder Emperor was so fast that they couldn't even take him down, and Long Shui had long discovered him. At that time, Chun Xiang would be able to leave. "Humph!" Zhang Shijin suddenly snorted. The sword in his hand had already pierced towards Chun Xiang like lightning. The calm surface of the sea had suddenly surged, and following the thrust of the sword, a huge wave that was over 300 meters tall suddenly rose. He was previously laughing and talking, but in the blink of an eye, his sword was already as vicious as Liao's. If not for Chun Xiang's 100 battles, being able to avoid the attack when he sensed the sudden burst of killing intent, his body would have already been pierced through by the sword, and even if Chun Xiang had profound with diamond armor, he would not have been able to withstand it. After Chun Xiang dodged, he kept his distance from Zhang Shijin at the same time. The sword in the hands of the leader in front of him was not a holy sword. It was not as ordinary as it looked. In that instant earlier, Chun Xiang clearly felt how terrifying that sword was. It's dragon-slaying chi. What a powerful dragon-slaying chi. That sword should be a divine sword that has massacred many powerful dragons and beasts. If you use it well, the profound with diamond armor you're wearing might not even be able to withstand it. Long Shui said in a shocked voice. "No wonder I could sense this guy just now. It's because the sword in his hand is too powerful. To be able to dodge my sword strike, not bad, not bad. You are worth a divine deity. It shouldn't be just your abilities." Jiang Shijian looked at Xianxia, who had suddenly flashed far away. Your sword was given to you by the Hell Devil Emperor. I'm afraid this is something only the God's realm has. Xianxia said. The dragon-slaying chi was something that could only be accumulated by killing powerful sky dragons or god dragons. Otherwise, Long Shui would not be so afraid. Xianxia took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and said to Long Shui, Lend me your power. I must take care of this guy. You must be careful. When the time comes, neither of us will have much strength left. We must successfully kill him. Long Shui immediately channeled the power of Sky Dragon into Xianxia's body. When Jiang Shijian saw Xianxia's chi suddenly increase dramatically, he frowned and slashed at Xianxia again from afar. This sword was even more terrifying than the previous sword. A large part of the sea was pressed in all directions by the aura from the sword. The waves seemed to rush up to the sky, engulfing the entire sky. The sky was overcast with thick clouds, rolling thunder, and dense lightning. It was very scary. Later on, he fused his divine deity and became even more powerful. Even if he did not receive the power that Long Shui had channeled into him, he could still withstand a few blows from Long Shui, or at least not be defeated by him with just 10 swords. The churning ocean wildly roared, and huge waves over 300 meters surged. This was caused by the power produced by Jiang Shijian when he struck with his sword. The force of his sword burst out with an extremely violent power. The powerful divine power condensed at the tip of his sword was used to stab at Xianxia, causing space to ripple and distort as it pierced through. When Xianxia saw this, he couldn't help but feel fear in his heart, and he did not dodge this time. There was no need for him to dodge. God power, divine deity, combined with Long Shui's dragon god's power, combined with the Azure Dragon Demon God slaying blade. Jiang Shijian thrusted from afar, but the sword did not come over. It only released a strong sword force that was able to destroy the heaven and earth. It was extremely terrifying. Break! Xianxia brandished his blade and the green light of the divine blade shot out in all directions, releasing a burst of light that covered the entire body of the blade, congealing an extremely terrifying chi. From the divine blade, it suddenly shot out, transforming into a green-colored dragon. While roaring, it danced towards the incoming sword attack. The green dragon pierced through the surging sea of anger, causing the sea to surge even more ferociously as it ferociously charged towards the incoming huge wolf made of swords. In the sea, there were 2 giant waves. One was formed by a murderous sword, the other was formed by a giant green dragon. Dark clouds covered the sky and lightning flashed. The 2 furious waves clashed with each other. Boom! 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 The sound wave resounded in the sky, causing the sea water in the western sea to undulate up and down non-stop. The sound wave spread out in all directions, setting off a true berserk tide that engulfed countless islands. The aftermath of this fierce clash was enough to destroy dozens of huge cities. The force of the blade and sword fiercely clashed against each other. Jiang Shijian's dragon-slaying divine sword trembled, giving off a crisp humming sound, as it shook within the surging waves and the roaring thunder sea. Following the shock wave from before, it once again wreaked havoc in all 4 directions of the ocean. On the other hand, the green dragon demon-slain broadsword in Xianxia's hands were very stable. It was not affected in the slightest. You've already unleashed your second sword strike. I'd like to see if you can take me down within the 10 sword strikes. Xianxia let out a cold laugh as he suddenly teleported next to Jiang Shijian and struck him with his deranged blade. Just as Jiang Shijian sensed the movement in space, Xianxia appeared beside him and instantly slashed down. This was done in an instant. He had no time to dodge at all. The huge green dragon that Xianxia slashed with his blade roared in his ears. An extremely berserk blade force enveloped him, and the large blade slashed straight towards his neck. In the end, Jiang Shijian was still a sword saint after all. Although he did not manage to avoid the blade in time, but with his rich battle experience, he subconsciously blocked with his sword. With a crisp clank, Xianxia's divine blade fiercely slashed onto the dragon-slaying god's sword. This was the first time Jiang Shijian had exchanged blows with Xianxia head-on. The power carried by Xianxia's divine blade was true divine strength that had been baptized by divine deity, and Long Xue's dragon god power had also been tempered by the supreme dragon blood, so it was the most terrifying divine strength. Adding to that, the terrifying weight that erupted when Xianxia's physical body and divine blade absorbed the divine strength caused the divine sword in Jiang Shijian's hand to almost fall out of his hands. However, he still withstood Xianxia's blade strike. However, the explosive power of the blade and the terrifying impact it produced still knocked him down from the sky and into the ocean. Had already realized how powerful Xianxia was at this moment, especially the powerful dragon god's power and divine power that came from Xianxia's body. Just now, he could clearly feel that there were two types of strong and special divine powers colliding with each other on Xianxia's body, producing an extremely terrifying power. Jiang Shijian, who had sunk into the divine sense sea, felt fear in his heart as he fiercely jumped out of the sea. He looked at the sword in his hand and saw that there was actually a small hole on it. You are far inferior to the 9 heaven worlds, Sword Emperor. You want to be called an emperor with your level. Xianxia mocked and ridiculed him. What he said was the truth, because the Sword Emperor was extremely powerful. Long Xue had very high opinions of him, much more powerful than the person in front of him. Only his whereabouts were unknown. Being mocked by Xianxia, Jiang Shijian became furious. She bellowed, holding her sword. She angrily rushed towards Xianxia, her body surging with terrifying killing intent. The dragon-slaying god's sword that had a gap in it released an even more intense killing intent that soared to the sky. Seeing this, Xianxia laughed coldly. The powerful dragon-slaying god's sword started to spew out a black evil chi, which seeped into the ocean water and dyed it black. Sure enough, you did not even have a good ending when you made the deal with the Hell Devil Emperor. The sword in your hand is filled with dense baleful aura. Xianxia originally thought that they would have to fight bitterly, but who knew that at this time, the other party would be infected by this kind of evil baleful aura. Towards him, who had cultivated the devil-suppressing kung fu, the current Jiang Shijian was simply too easy to deal with. As long as I can kill you. Jiang Shijian's eyes turned red. The sword chi became extremely berserk and filled with hostility. This was the sign of one falling into evil. Xianxia suspected that the dragon-slaying god sword was something that the Hell Devil Emperor had used before, and there was definitely a large amount of evil power hidden inside it. Sensing the evil power that was hiding inside Jiang Shijian's heart, Xianxia felt that Jiang Shijian, who had been trampled on by Xianxia's dignity, only wanted to kill Xianxia. So he lost his focus and was infiltrated by the evil power inside the dragon-slaying god sword. With your current condition, it's even more impossible for you to kill me. Xianxia laughed out loud. Jiang Shijian had already swung his sword over. The sword force was extremely tyrannical, bringing with it a black mist. It rippled the water surface, which was dyed black. A burst of golden holy light appeared on Xianxia's body, and the dragon-slaying divine sword hacked down onto the light barrier that had just appeared on his body. This was an energy barrier formed by the devil-suppressing chi array, and it contained Xianxia's powerful devil-suppressing magic power. Let's end this quickly. Long Xue sent a sound transmission to Xianxia because she and Xianxia were using up all of their energy, and there were a lot of experts chasing after him. When Jiang Shijian saw that not only did his attack have no effect, it had even bounced him off, he was even angrier in his heart. Even though he was unstoppable in the southern sea with his sword arts, a fierce attack was not able to hurt him at all. Such an obvious difference in strength caused Jiang Shijian to roar wildly. Black aura surged from his body, as if he was a berserk devil ignited by black flames. Xianxia never thought that the dragon-slaying god sword would be so powerful, able to turn a saint into a demon so easily. If Jiang Shijian didn't use this dragon-slaying god sword, he would have to bitterly battle for a while before being able to take him down. Go meet your master in hell. Xianxia took out the holy devil-suppressing seal and threw it out. It was as big as a small mountain, shining with a golden light, looking like a meteor as it pressed down towards Jiang Shijian. The dragon-slaying god sword that was releasing the evil force directly collided with the holy devil-suppressing seal's solid surface, and was directly smashed into pieces by the divine force. The moment the dragon-slaying god sword was destroyed, Jiang Shijian suddenly became clear-headed, but it was already too late. The evil energy in the dragon-slaying god sword immediately rushed into Jiang Shijian's body, causing Jiang Shijian's body to turn pitch black. Black spikes emerging from his body, layers of black scales appeared. He looked extremely sinister. The evil energy was actually able to turn him into a terrifying demon. Subdue! Xianxia shouted in a serious tone, because Jiang Shijian had suddenly become very powerful, both palms holding the holy devil-suppressing seal, ready to lift it up. Xianxia had no choice but to use an even stronger devil-suppressing magic power to make the holy devil-suppressing seal even stronger. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to suppress this Jiang Shijian. The holy devil-suppressing seal became even heavier. Jiang Shijian, who could still hold on, was suddenly pressed down, and the instant he quickly fell, the holy devil-suppressing seal released a gold light. The word suppress appeared, and pressed onto Jiang Shijian's body. The moment his body was destroyed, Xianxia suddenly felt that evil spirit escaping from within. He anxiously used the soul-absorbing devil spell, wanting to completely destroy it. But who knew that in that short moment, the evil spirit disappeared. As long as you stay in hell for a while, you will be able to revive him. You must know that his soul has already been sold to the Hell Devil Emperor, and the Hell Devil Emperor will not let him be destroyed so easily. Long Shui said in an extremely displeased tone. This is the benefit of working hard for Hell Devil Emperor. Xianxia looked at the gradually dissipating black baleful qi, and sighed. I never thought that God's realm had dragons too, and even more of them. Just now, that sword was able to kill quite a few dragons, which was why it was able to condense a large amount of dragon-slaying qi. If there isn't a single dragon with divine deity, or if there isn't a single supreme dragon blood, then it shouldn't be an issue at God's realm. If we go up without a single bit of foundation, we'll definitely be bullied. Long Shui said. Long Shui's strength withdrew out of Xianxia's body. Xianxia's body only experienced pain for a while, and there wasn't any major problems, unlike the excruciating pain from before, when one wished to die. Another person has come. This is really annoying. I wonder when he will be able to break free from the Hell Devil Emperor's curse on me. Xianxia could sense the auras coming from all four directions. They were all the powers of the Saint Ruler and the Thunder Emperor that was running in front of them the fastest. Jiang Shijian has already been killed by me. I don't have the energy to play with you now. See you next time. Xianxia shouted loudly. The sound resonated in all directions, shaking the entire ocean. Following that, he took a step in the air and disappeared. Xianxia's qi suddenly disappeared. Thunder Emperor stopped in his tracks and said coldly, Xianxia, you will never be able to escape. You should take the chance and come out. As long as the Hell Devil Envoy continued to give them Xianxia's position, they were confident that they could catch him just like how Jiang Shijian was. It was just that since Jiang Shijian had been killed, the Sacred Masters realized that it would not be easy to obtain the Divine Deity. Xianxia was still in the Nine-Spirit Heavenly Sea, but he had already left the Western Sea. Many of his pursuers were Sacred Masters in the Western Sea, and it would not be easy for them to pass through the East Sea if he suddenly appeared. Especially since his location was very far away from where the transmission array was, he had to fly there directly. Xianxia was on a small island in the East Sea. This place did not have any immortal medicines, or else there would definitely be a strong sea beast guarding this place. I can't go on like this. I can't even do things in peace. As long as they come, I'll have to run. Xianxia cursed under his breath. If I had the power of the Saint Ruler right now, then I would be the one chasing after these guys. Long Shui said, They all found out about your location from Hell Devil Envoy. There should be several Hell Devil Envoy here, we just need to deal with them. I've thought before, Hell Devil Envoy is the best choice. I used the Devil-Suppressing Kung Fu and Holy Devil-Suppressing Seal to suppress one of them, but it would not be easy to find them. These guys are probably scared to death of me. Xianxia sighed helplessly. Is there really no way to break this damn curse? Xianxia came to Absolute Monarch Sanctuary to become a pill saint, and now that he was wanted by the Hell Devil Emperor, he couldn't refine pills without worry. Moreover, he didn't know when this kind of day would come to an end. Of course the curse can be broken. This usually requires the disappearance of the power of the curse. For example, the Duan clan got their hands on a curse, but after a while, the power of the curse will be used up and everything will be fine. Long Shui said, "If we know how much curse power you have, we can just think of a way to quickly drain it." Chun Xiang said, "As long as I move, in order to determine my position, the curse will start to activate, thus consuming the curse power. I just don't know how much curse power there is. The curse power paid a huge price to use it on me by the Hell Devil Emperor. It definitely won't be that simple." Long Shui laughed. "Of course, there will be a way. At least right now you have a way. You know how to travel through space. Plus you need to search for these islands. It will require you to move everywhere. This 9-spirit heavenly sea is so big, you can go back and forth in these 4 areas, even if you cannot use up all the curse energy. The holy saints who chase you will definitely spurt blood." Chun Xiang thought for a moment, then laughed. "They crossed a large ocean, and just as they were about to approach me, I suddenly disappeared. It didn't take them long before they found out that I was in another ocean, and they would definitely be angry. I'm young anyways. Let's see who will last long enough. Do you really think it's so easy to get a set of divine deity? The reason why I got divine deity as a bounty was not because of my luck. Chun Xiang, who had no other choice, could only use this method of death. He was only looking for an island with immortal pills, and did not start refining pills. After searching for an island with immortal medicines, Chun Xiang gained some insights. As long as he found an uninhabited island, and a holy beast appeared, most of the immortal medicines would be on it. During the month of being hunted, he had used this method to find tier 1 or 2 immortal medicines. They weren't of much use to him, and those holy beasts were weaker. He could easily kill them and then toss them to Long Shui to eat. Chun Xiang had just finished eating the roasted beast meat on a small island when he sensed a few strong auras approaching him. He wiped his greasy mouth and laughed. "This group of fellows they have been chasing for over a month, and yet they have not given up. Let's see how long they can hold out for." With that, the space around him started to ripple. His body merged with the fluctuating space and disappeared. Not long after he left, a burly voice came from the small island. Seeing the flames that had been extinguished and the fragrance of the grilled meat spreading in the air, the Thunder Emperor roared out, waved his hand and released a flash of lightning that struck the small island, causing it to emit an earth-shattering sound. The ocean surged, and amidst the wind and clouds, a small island was exterminated. The Holy Master, who appeared afterwards, knew that Chun Xiang had ran away when he saw the furious look on Thunder Emperor's face. Although he was disappointed, he was still rather happy because Chun Xiang was not captured by the Thunder Emperor. Otherwise, they would not be part of the divine deity. Thunder Emperor wasn't the first to arrive, because sometimes, when Chun Xiang appeared, those sacred masters would immediately rush over if he was closest to the other sacred masters. However, they had never seen any trace of Chun Xiang, so they would frequently see some leftover bones. "I can't go on like this. It's been more than a month since then, and only Jiang Shijian and Chun Xiang have exchanged blows. Most likely, Chun Xiang thought that he was easy to deal with, and had not been chased around by anyone else at that time." An old man with white beard and hair said, "He always knows that I'm coming over, but we've all hidden ourselves very well. It seems like we need to find a better concealment technique, or else we won't be able to catch up to him," a middle-aged man said. After saying that, they both left. It seemed that they planned to stop their pursuit of Chun Xiang for a period of time and find a way to conceal their auras. "Old Jiang, do you know anything about this place?" Qi Shi sat on a circular flying disc. The one controlling the flying disc was Jiang Sheng, so the two of them had already reached the Saint Realm. Jiang Sheng shook his head. "No, even if they did, they probably wouldn't remember me. What about you?" Qi Shi laughed. "There are a few enemies here, but that brat Chun Xiang has met with big trouble this time. Several big guys from the Heaven Realm all came here to kill him. I wonder how he feels right now." Jiang Sheng chuckled. "He's even better than you were back then. Even back then, when you were dealt with by the Hell Devil Emperor, you didn't have a scale like his. Chun Xiang is not strong enough, and he was even kicked out of the tracing mantra. He can run, But it won't be long before he gets caught again, which will definitely bore him to death. Just thinking about it gives me a headache. Xianxia laughed. Hell Devil Emperor has become smarter now. I have to kill him before Xianxia matures. If not, he will have a headache in the future. Xianxia asked, how do we help him? That tracing mantra might not be the least lethal, but it's the lowest one. The power of the curse is hard to exhaust, and there's no way to touch it at all. Why are you so anxious? Let's just let him play for a while and go meet some old acquaintances. I don't dare to fight randomly in Detion for fear of damaging that place. But this is different. Xianxia laughed out loud. The boldness of the voice caused the surrounding mountains to tremble crazily. Some of the holy beasts were originally very angry, but after sensing his qi, they didn't even dare to fart. Xianxia chuckled. I heard that the Hell's 8 cavalry emissaries are all in the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary. I want to capture one to play with. The 8 riders in the Hell Devil Envoy are the 8 white-faced monsters riding black bone dragons. They should be the ones who spread Xianxia's location around. Xianxia said. That's right, we can obtain divine deity after killing Xianxia. For such a good thing, these 8 riders actually didn't find us. They really deserve a beating. Xianxia laughed. You go find your old friend and fight. I will go grab a skeletal dragon devil envoy and meet up in super old sacred city. Xianxia suddenly laughed sinisterly. That woman is also in super old sacred city. I remember that she is some divine feather school. Are you trying to find her? She is so powerful that even I am a little afraid of her. Xianxia curled his lips. Right now, I am already clear-minded and lacking in desires. Xianxia laughed out loud. Old Jiang, if it weren't for me back then, you would have almost become Mei Emperor's slave. I am a man after all. Furthermore, I did not lose anything, so the taste of the Mei Emperor is still not bad. Xianxia stroked his chin. His face was filled with thought. Xianxia snickered. Ice Emperor and Fire Swallow City had tried to seduce her before, but you seem to be even later than them. When I thought back to why I felt that she was so disgusting, and why is it that there seems to be someone else as well? Before Xianxia could finish, he was kicked off the frisbee by Xianxia. Xianxia, who was riding the frisbee, disappeared into the sky in the blink of an eye. Xianxia once again dodged the attacks from the Thunder Emperor and the group of holy saints. Not long after coming to the North Sea, he sensed the presence of the holy sage approaching him. There's only one guy. Just as Xianxia was about to dodge, he did not sense any of the other saint rulers' auras. Should we get rid of him? Long Shui laughed. There's only one. Even if I don't act, you can probably take him down using the super old poison. Xianxia laughed sinisterly. It hasn't been used for a long time. I'm almost unaccustomed to it. He took out a jade box that was meticulously packaged. After opening it, there were many small transparent granules inside. These were all refined from drunk god magical poison, and the other box had a small transparent pellet that was refined from magical corruption gas. To Alchemist, refining a large amount of poison into such small pellets was extremely easy, not to mention Xianxia. For a super old poison to refine such a pellet, the poison power could be imagined, but Xianxia felt that it was still not enough to deal with a saint. I need at least a dozen pills before I can put them down. Xianxia quickly threw over a dozen of these transparent pellets into the Yanlong furnace. Just like that, he floated in the air above the ocean, refining these drunk god magical poison and fusing them into a small pellet, convenient to poison. He finished it very quickly. That saint would need some time, enough time for him to finish several rounds of refining. Not long after, he quickly refined several magical corruption gases. The saint had already arrived. It was a bald old man who looked very old. The wrinkles on his face were so numerous that they almost covered his entire face. You are Xianxia. Thank you for allowing me to obtain a set of divine deity. This old man was extremely excited. He looked at Xianxia as if he thought that he would be able to obtain divine deity soon. In just a blink of an eye, he was already enveloped by the black qi. He felt that all around him there were thick walls formed by the black qi, and the worst thing was the black qi had a very pungent smell, causing him to almost vomit. Xianxia immediately sealed his sense of smell, and something that made him alarmed happened. The black chi that surrounded him suddenly pressured down. He anxiously released a demon suppression barrier, but the strange black chi actually directly penetrated the demon suppression barrier and quickly adhered onto his body, went through his nose, ears, eyes, and entered his body. In that instant, a large amount of black chi completely entered Xianxia's body. At this time, Xianxia's eyes, ears, nose, and mouth were releasing that black aura, looking extremely terrifying. Haha, you're dead for sure. Even if a god appeared, he wouldn't be able to cure you of this poison. The bald old man laughed out loud. He felt that he was just too amazing. He had taken down Xianxia, who Thunder Emperor and the others could not handle even once. What poison is this? A super old poison? At this time, Xianxia took advantage of the situation and used his spatial energy to secretly put a refined drunk god magical poison pellet into the throat of the bald old man by teleporting through space. The laughing bald old man didn't even notice that the pellet had entered his throat. Super old poison, that's out of date. It's not as powerful as this new poison. Before the bald old man finished speaking, he felt that something was amiss. When Xianxia spoke just now, he was very spirited. There were no signs of poison. Xianxia laughed. Really? Impossible, why are you fine? The bald old man was extremely astonished. Just as he wanted to release the second round of poison gas, he felt his body go weak and he couldn't use his divine power. As a powerful saint, divine power was the protection of his strength. Even if he had a powerful body, he would still have to kneel in the face of the attacks of a large number of drunk god magical poison. Is your body very soft? Hee. Xianxia laughed. Just now, you were struck by a drunk god magical poison that wasn't ranked among the top few. Although it isn't as strong as your new, strange poison, it's still enough to poison you. When did you poison it? Without the control of the god power, he was just a piece of trash. Facing Xianxia, who had green dragon demon slain broadsword S, he could only die. Xianxia took out a flying disc, causing the bald old man, who had lost his energy, to land on it. Your poison skills aren't skilled at all, so you should be able to poison silently so that the other party won't notice. Xianxia laughed. Looking at him, he was not in a hurry to kill. It was precisely because of this that the bald old man was even more afraid. Right now, he only hoped that Xianxia would be more straightforward and kill him with one slash. The reason you came to kill me so quickly is because there is a hell devil envoy nearby, right? Xianxia's palm had already pressed down on the old man's bald head, as he started to circulate his soul-absorbing devil spell, searching through his memories. The bald old man immediately cried out in pain. When he was awake, he was searched with soul-absorbing devil spell. Very quickly, Xianxia found out that there was something related to the hell devil envoy, and it was indeed in the northern sea. Hee, you can die in peace now. Xianxia used his strength to pinch the old man's head, and at the same time using soul-absorbing devil spell, he activated devouring magic kung fu and swallowed his opponent's powerful soul. Ah! My soul, you son of a bitch! The old man roared. Do you really think that you won't die just because you worked hard for the Hell Devil Emperor? Now, I won't even let you have a soul. During the process of devouring, Xianxia felt a resistance. This was the power of the Hell Devil Emperor. Last time when he killed Jiang Shijian, he let his soul escape. This time he would definitely not let this old man enter hell. Die! Xianxia channeled his soul-absorbing devil spell with all his might, using it to the extreme, slowly devouring the old man's soul. After a while, Xianxia's head was in pain. Even though his divine sense C was very strong, but to be able to devour such a strong soul, he had been swollen to the extreme. I need to hurry up and refine it. Xianxia threw the old man's body into the demon god slaying tower to feed the king of hell. He planned to refine it after he fattened up this king of hell. The soul that was devoured was actually absorbed by the divine deity not long after it had entered the divine sense C. Upon closer inspection, Xianxia discovered that after the divine deity devoured the soul, it actually refined quickly, causing the divine deity to shine and release waves of pure divine power, strengthening his divine sense C. This divine deity is so powerful. it was instantly refined. Xianxia exclaimed, I basically don't need to circulate 9-turn dragon god mantra. Divine deity were originally condensed from cultivation techniques. He himself was an intelligent cultivation technique, and after absorbing it, he could use it on his own. There's no need for you to focus on it. Long Shui laughed. If you devour more souls, maybe you can make your soul stronger, and at that time, you can get rid of the curse held Devil Emperor placed on you. Chunxiang's eyes lit up. The curse was all placed on his soul, because Chunxiang's current soul was still too weak for the Hell Devil Emperor, so he was trapped by the curse. If his soul evolved to be extremely strong, the curse that imprisoned his soul might be broken. Alright, I'll go look for the Hell Devil Envoy now. The Hell Devil Envoy is something that came from devouring a large amount of souls from Hell and was evolved from a soul body. The soul should be very powerful. Chunxiang had seen Hell Devil Envoy's appearance from the bald old man's memories. He was a man with a face as white as flour, riding a black-bone dragon. In the future, as long as I meet these lonely fellows, no matter what, I will devour their souls. Long Shui laughed. Your soul has become stronger. I will cultivate the God's Join method with you. There are also great benefits for me. Chunxiang was rushing towards the Hell Devil Envoy. He asked, what is the strongest realm of the soul? Compared to mine, who is stronger? Of course it's my strength. I've evolved into an Emperor soul. Any soul that reaches my level can be called Emperor. Long Shui said, if you were also an Emperor soul, you would probably be more powerful than me, because you have the shaped divine deity. Is there something special about the Emperor soul? Why haven't I seen you display it before? Chunxiang said doubtfully. The Emperor soul should have some sort of special ability. Of course there is. It's just that everyone's Emperor soul is different. For example, my Emperor soul's ability is to eat and sleep. Long Shui said, what kind of ability is this? Everyone knows it. Chunxiang laughed. Who said it? Find a strong of Lord stage like me that can eat. Even if they can eat, can they refine things like me after a short sleep? I can become stronger even if I sleep. Long Shui said, this Emperor soul is too inferior to actually have this kind of ability. Chunxiang was a little disappointed. I know many strong of Lord stage and they have never told me the abilities of Emperor soul. Not even half of them would say it if they were close to me. However, the abilities of Emperor soul are closely related to a person's personality. Half of them can guess it. Long Shui said. Chunxiang suddenly thought of Feng Yujie and the Mei Emperor, and said, could the Emperor Soulless abilities be their charm powers? It's very possible. I've suspected it before, but there's no way to verify it. Long Shui said, within the 9-heaven world, every single one of them has a very distinct characteristic. That's right, the Fire Emperor uses fire, the Ice Emperor uses ice, the Dan Emperor refines pills, the Divine Craftsman forges pills. With your unique characteristics, you clearly have the ability to eat and sleep, yet you call yourself Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord or even the Great Emperor of Sleep. Chunxiang laughed. Long Shui unhappily snorted a few times. What do you know? Someone like me is the true powerful Emperor. Do you know the special characteristics of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord and the White Tiger? Chunxiang replied, isn't it just killing? Long Shui said, that's right, with one look, I can tell that they have some of the Emperor Soul's abilities, but other people definitely wouldn't be able to guess my abilities, so I am mysterious and powerful. What kind of logic is this? Chunxiang thought about it. If Long Shui did not tell him, he would not have been able to guess Long Shui's ability. This is the logic of the strong. Do not look down on my ability to eat and sleep. As long as I can eat and sleep, I will be strong. Back then, the reason why I condensed divine deity was because I ate and slept for many years before I condensed it. Long Shui was extremely proud. Give me some more time, and I'll be able to forge 10 divine deity. Chunxiang could not deny the power of Long Shui. Then what about my Emperor Soul's abilities? I keep having the feeling that the other strong of Lord Stage's Emperor Soul aren't that powerful. Chunxiang felt that the Emperor Soul was just like that. Long Shui immediately refuted. Don't say that. Dan Emperor's Emperor Soulless abilities are also very mysterious. It is said that they have already reached the state of condensing medicinal pellets, and just by staring at the medicinal ingredients, they can immediately condense a pellet. If it is not for that, Dan Emperor's title of Pill Elder would not have been taken away by him. There's also Qi Shi's Killing Emperor Soul. The killing aura that he instantly condensed can turn into mountains and rivers, and there's no need to mention old Jiang, the divine craftsman. I heard that when he uses the Emperor Soul's power, he can absorb the energy of heaven and earth and turn them into precious materials to be refined into weapons and artifacts. After Xianxia heard it, he took back what he had said just now. This Emperor Soul was actually so powerful, different Emperor Soul, although their abilities were different, it was still shocking. Their Emperor Soul is pretty cool, but yours seems to be average. Xianxia said. Didn't I say it already? I can condense divine deity, which is stronger than anything else. And with divine deity, I can grow even more powerful. I heard that if divine deity grows well, I can also condense the second divine deity. And with the second divine deity, I can cultivate the second Emperor Soul. Long Shui snorted. That's why my ability to eat and sleep is the best. This can help me build a firm foundation, and allow me to have the ability to become the second Emperor Soul in the future. Xianxia immediately had a whole new level of respect for Long Shui's Emperor Soul. In other words, I already have an Emperor Soul, so I'm already a strong of Lord stage. I wonder what my Emperor Soul's abilities are like. Xianxia was a little excited. More or less, but your situation is a bit special. Even if you have Emperor Soul S with your current situation, you can't be considered a real strong of Lord stage. Long Shui said. Why? Xianxia was a little confused. Because your body is not strong enough, your bones are at least at the purple gold level. Long Shui said. Right now you should still have pure gold bones. There is still platinum gold on top of it, just violet gold. Xianxia said. Above purple gold is a crystal bone, and lastly, a jade bone. I am still far from that realm. What kind of bones do you have now? I have a purple gold skeleton now. If not for my rebirth, I would at least have a crystal skeleton now. My Emperor Soul's ability is so strong that it can only be learned after eating and sleep, so if I want to evolve into a jade bone, it will happen sooner or later. With the Emperor Soul, he could use it to devour the holy man's soul, but if he wanted to strengthen his body, he could only do it through pills. He didn't have the same kind of power as Long Shui, who only knew how to eat and sleep. The Hell Devil Envoy knew Xianxia's location. In order to not attract the Hell Devil Envoy's attention, he shuttled back and forth in the North Sea, making the Hell Devil Envoy think that he was searching for an island. At the same time, he also let Long Shui confirm the location of the Hell Devil Envoy. Hell Devil Emperor could not come straight into the human world, so Xianxia was not afraid of him. After taking away Hades, he let the Hell Devil Emperor be ruthless to him. He felt that since he was already hated by the Hell Devil Emperor, killing another Hell Devil Envoy was not a big deal. Long Shui used the spirit traveling technique, and after about 2 hours, he found the location of the Hell Devil Envoy. That fellow is on a very large island. Long Shui said. There are many holy lords trying to curry favor with the Hell Devil Envoy, wanting to find out your position through him. That's why they are serving him on the island, capturing some holy beasts so that he can absorb their beast souls. Xianxia laughed coldly. This group of sacred masters truly dislike living long. To actually want to kill me, then Hell Devil Envoy would definitely not tell them that the Baldy is already dead, and would not want to scare away this group of cheap servants. From the image that Long Shui passed to him, he saw the snow-white-faced man sitting on top of a high platform. Below him were the holy monarchs, and many humanoid holy beasts were tied up and placed below the platform. In the northern sea of the nine-spirit heavenly sea, there were actually a few hundred holy monarchs gathered there. They had captured over 1,000 holy beasts alive. Although they had turned into human beings, Long Shui could tell that many of them were sea beasts. This is a good opportunity. Xianxia moved according to the position Long Shui provided and started to circulate his spatial energy, preparing to teleport over accurately. On the island where the Hell Devil Envoy was, many of the sacred masters were gathered and having a feast. The Hell Devil envoy was like an emperor sitting on a high platform, releasing a weird laughter, raising his cup to drink with everyone. In this atmosphere of joy, all of the holy beasts that were tied up, their bodies riddled with wounds, fell on the ground in a mess, their faces full of dejection, because they were about to be devoured by the beast spirit. Lord Demon Envoy, this holy beast is the famous Pearl King of the Nine-Spirit Heavenly Sea. It is a huge pearl that is deep under the sea. An old man pinched the face of a beautiful young lady and laughed loudly. Every drop of this woman's tears is worth millions of kilograms of holy stone. Her tears not only can make a girl forever young, they can also quickly heal injuries. I only care about her soul, the Hell Devil envoy asked with his sinister voice, because he could only become stronger by consuming the soul. At this moment, the Pearl King's face was filled with despair. Her pair of beautiful eyes were lifeless and void of life. Her entire body was tied up with a special kind of rope, making it impossible for her to transform into her original body. Her soul is naturally very good. Lord Demon Envoys will definitely like her. The old man hurriedly said, "Fine. Bring her up here. I'll try it." Hell Devil Envoy rubbed his hands together and laughed. That old man sent the beautiful Pearl Monarch up. Although she looked like a young girl, she had been cultivating in the deep sea for tens of thousands of years. "If I'm satisfied, I will tell you where Xianxia is." Hell Devil Envoy laughed out loud. That eerie laughter made people's hair stand on end. Hell Devil Envoy laughed out loud, and then used his pale and skinny claws to stab at the Pearl King's head. But his wrist was suddenly grabbed by a powerful big hand, which was shining with a holy light. Upon seeing this hand, the originally despairing Pearl Emperor felt as though he had seen the dawn of hope. "You don't need to tell him. I'm already here." Xianxia laughed heartily, then used the demon-suppressing pagoda that had turned into a rod and smashed towards Hell Devil Envoy's head, causing Hell Devil Envoy to let out a sharp scream as black blood and chi surged out from his head. Xianxia. Hell Devil Envoy wanted to struggle free from Xianxia's grasp, but Xianxia's hands, which were covered with devil-suppressing magic powers, seemed to have been specially used to handcuffs the demons, locking him in place. "I didn't think I would come." Xianxia smiled, then pointed the larger demon god suppressing pagoda in his hand towards Hell Devil Envoy's head. A golden whirlpool appeared at the bottom of the tower, sucking in all of the evil energy that had formed into the Hell Devil Envoy into the tower. "Shui, don't let these bastards escape. Arrest them all." After Xianxia stored the Hell Devil Envoy in the demon god slaying pagoda, he sat on the throne that the Hell Devil Envoy had just been sitting on and casually waved his hand, releasing the tied-up Pearl King. When the holy beasts that thought they were going to die saw Xianxia release the Pearl King, they were overjoyed. This was because they wouldn't be sucked into the Hell Devil Envoy. Becoming a holy beast was not easy. No one wanted to die. At this moment, they were extremely grateful to Xianxia, wishing to kneel down and kowtow to him. Long Shui flew out from Xianxia's body and floated in the air. The elegant and beautiful her suddenly let out a dragon's roar that caused all the holy beasts present to tremble in fear. Hearing Long Shui's heavenly dragon's roar, the holy beasts were now no less afraid than when they were facing death. Even the holy monarchs didn't expect that this beautiful lady in white dress would actually be an extremely terrifying heavenly dragon. After the Hell Devil Envoy was grabbed by Xianxia, his black dragon mount hurried over, but following Long Shui's roar, the black bone dragon was immediately shaken into dust. Those sacred monarchs were all dumbstruck. Hell Devil Envoy had been captured in a few moves, and that black bone dragon mount that looked extremely terrifying had been instantly destroyed, and only now did they realize just how foolish they were. They actually wanted to find out where Xianxia was, and wanted to kill him to get the divine deity. Long Shui swept a glance at the several hundred sacred monarchs and let out a cold snort. Her white dress fluttered in the wind, releasing a burst of white, gentle, and holy multicolored light, which shone upon the bodies of the sacred masters. Instantly, the light turned into tiny white dragons, and like a rope, tied up all the sacred monarchs. Long Shui was a heavenly dragon supreme lord who possessed an emperor soul. Although he didn't have the power he had back then, he was more than enough to deal with these sacred masters. After the holy lords were restrained, they all begged for forgiveness, but Xianxia didn't care and threw out the demon god-slaying pagoda in his hand, floating above the holy monarchs, and kept all of them inside the pagoda. After that, Long Shui untied the holy beasts. "Thank you, Sir Xin, for saving me." The Pearl Sovereign King immediately thanked Xianxia, and the other holy beasts quickly thanked him as well, as they shouted out to repay Xianxia. Xianxia said with an ashamed face, "Since everyone has been captured, it has something to do with me, so I can't really be considered as saving all of you. Even if it wasn't because of Mr. Shen, these fellows would have caught us. I am willing to follow you in the future." A burly man shouted, "I hope I can help you." These holy beasts were not stupid. They had obviously heard of Xianxia's name before. To be chased down by so many holy rulers and even dare to challenge the Eagle Emperor, accompanied by an incomparably strong heavenly dragon, being able to follow Xianxia was a good thing. Although Xianxia's current situation was not very good. But the Pearl King said softly, "Lord Shen, I am willing to follow you as well." Xianxia looked at the group of holy beasts. Although there were thousands of them, but there were only 4 women, all of them were extremely beautiful. "Look at her. She might need some companions." Xianxia looked at Long Shui beside him. Long Shui stuck his tongue out at the Pearl King, then laughed. "If you don't mind, you can follow me. After all, dragons were the emperors of beasts, not to mention heavenly dragon supreme lord like Long Shui, who would naturally be more willing to have pearls." Seeing Long Shui taking them in, 3 female holy beasts all walked up to him. Long Shui accepted all of them. Since there were not many of them, the other holy beasts all hated themselves for not being women. "Everyone, I have a request. I am looking for medicinal ingredients of the 7th grade of Immortal grade or above. Do you have any clues related to them in the Northern Sea? Or if you all have these immortal medicines in your hands, can you lend them to me? I will be able to return them very soon." This was the reason why Xianxia was able to save the thousands of holy beasts. This group of holy beasts had escaped death, so they were extremely grateful. However, when Xianxia asked this question, some of the holy beasts were not willing to part with them. Xianxia could tell that some of the holy beasts had a troubled expression. Amongst all the holy beasts, there were still some who were sincerely grateful. An old man walked out and handed a small wooden box to Xianxia, and said, "This is the jaded god Lingji. It should be a grade 7 immortal medicine." The old man took out the jaded god Lingji. It was only the size of a palm and was as beautiful as a carved white jade. It emitted a gentle white light. "Exactly, this is the jaded god Lingji that can be refined into a jaded soul pill." Xianxia was overjoyed. He felt that he had not saved the holy beasts for nothing. The jaded essence pill was a kind of rare level 7 elixir. Even some of the older Dan Immortal S would not know about the existence of this elixir. "Please wait a moment. I am only recording the appearance and will be able to return it to you soon." Xianxia handed the jade god Lingji over to Long Shui, and Long Shui entered into the ring, using the spirit liquid to quickly duplicate the jade god Lingji. When the old man took it out, he had already decided to give it to Xianxia as a form of gratitude. When he received the jade god Lingji, the old man did not realize that the jade god Lingji was copied. Even a pill saint like Feng Yujie would find it hard to discover. With the jade god's Ganoderma, Xianxia's next target for refining the pellet had been set. However, what troubled him the most was that the Hell Devil Emperor was looking for him, which brought him a lot of trouble. "My pursuers will be arriving soon. Everyone, please leave this place as soon as possible. I am worried that I will implicate you," Xianxia said. Although these holy beasts had lived in this dangerous 9-spirit heavenly sea for many years, they were extremely weak in the face of a bandit saint humans, and could be easily captured. Hearing Xianxia's words, they all bade farewell to him and expressed their gratitude. Then they quickly left, leaving the few women who followed him behind. Of the other 3 girls, 2 of them were sea beasts and could not leave the water for too long, so it was inappropriate for them to enter the ring. So Long Shui could only let them leave. Right now, other than the pearl, there was also a white peacock by Long Shui's side. The white peacock was a round-faced, beautiful woman. Her long black hair was adorned with white peacock feathers. She was extremely beautiful and wore a white dress with some white feathers on top. Her smile was very sweet. The way Xianxia looked at him made her blush a little. She was respectful towards Xianxia because he was an expert that she could only look up to. Elder brother Xin, I am Kong Bailing. Thank you for saving me. Kong Bailing said softly. His face was a little red and very shy, as if it was the first time a man had spoken. Although she looked like a young girl, her face was filled with a straightforward smile. She said to Xianxia, in the future, if there's anything that you can help with, you can just say so. Xianxia laughed, patted Pearl and Kong Bailing's head and said gently, I am from Nine Heaven World. In the future, you must follow us back to Nine Heaven World, and we'll leave this place for a long distance. Are you willing? I'm willing, but I don't have anything else to do after I leave the water. Pearl said very straightforwardly. It doesn't matter, as long as I don't have to be alone in this place. I'm afraid of being alone. Kong Bailing lifted her head and used her beautiful eyes to carefully look at Xianxia. Seeing Xianxia's devilish smile, she blushed and quickly lowered her head. It was Xianxia's first time seeing such a shy girl, so he felt that Kong Bailing must have rarely seen strangers. Hurry up and leave, one of the Hell Devil envoy here has been captured. The other Hell Devil envoy will soon discover it. I wonder what kind of powerful guy will rush here at that time. Long Shui said. Without asking Pearl and Kong Bailing, he brought them into the ring. If a few Hell Devil envoys came, Xianxia would not have to be afraid, but if Strong Thunder Empress came, sealed the space and surrounded and attacked him, he would be in trouble. Xianxia immediately ran from the North Sea to the middle of the Southern Sea. He didn't even dare go to the place where there were people, because those places had transmission arrays, and the people chasing after him would quickly arrive. By Ling Pearl, do you know which islands have high-grade immortal medicine? Xianxia chatted with the two girls inside the ring. When they heard Xianxia's voice, they did not think it was strange, because Long Shui had already explained everything to them. I knew it before, but that place should have already been found. This nine-spirit heavenly sea is still too small. After all these years, so many powerful people came here to find immortal medicine, and many islands have already been found. Pearl sighed. There was one on the island that I was protecting in the past, but it was taken away by an elder of the Super Holy School. Kong Bailing was a holy beast that lived on an island, and rarely left her island. By Ling, I will bring you to a good place in the future. There will be many good sisters there, so you don't have to be afraid of Super Holy School anymore. Long Shui giggled. She wanted Kong Bailing to be sent to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, and inside the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, there were many girls that she thought highly of. She really wanted to see the Hundreds of Flowers Palace become stronger and stronger. Pearl, you said that this nine-spirit heavenly sea is still too small. Then what sea would be considered big? Xianxia asked. Of course, it's the sacred water heavenly realm's boundless sea. Pearl said in an ambitious manner. My previous goal was to go to sacred water heavenly realm to take a look, but to travel through space, I needed a very powerful ability, and the spatial passageway that is opened is unstable, so I would still face a lot of danger. To cross from one heavenly territory to another, let alone a saint beast on the level of a pearl, even a saint realm master would find it difficult to travel there. However, Xianxia was different. As long as he went to that place, he would be able to use up some of his divine power and quickly open a stable spatial passageway to go there. I went to the sacred water heavenly realm once, but I didn't stay there for long. Xianxia's eyes suddenly lit up. Now that he had the level 7 immortal medicine Jade God Lingji, he could temporarily not stay in the sacred domain. He could go to the other heaven regions to hide. Really, you've really been to the sacred water heavenly realm. Can you tell me about that place? I've only heard about it since I was young. Those old grandpas in sacred water heavenly realm telling me about it are all different. They might have made it up. Xianxia laughed. That place isn't much to talk about. There is a large expanse of water, and occasionally there will be a few small islands, and the sea beasts inside should be very big. Elder brother Xin, can you speak a little more about it? For example, the smell of the ocean, How dark is the color of the sea? Little girl, I really don't know much about that place. If you want to know, then I'll take you to see it. Xianxia laughed. In the eyes of Kong Bailing and Pearl, Xianxia was an old demon who had lived for God knows how many years, but he didn't know that they were many times older than him. Really? Pearl was in disbelief as she excitedly hugged Kong Bailing, who was much taller than her, and bounced around. Of course it's true. It's easy for this guy to go to other heavenly realms. However, he might have to wait for some guys to come all the way here to capture him before he can go there. Long Shui laughed. Xianxia was indeed waiting for the holy saints who came to capture him. Only when a large group of people came over did he leave and let that group of people come here for nothing. At the same time, he chatted with Kong Bailing and Pearl. Right now, Kong Bailing and Pearl were still in the trial stage. If he did not understand them well, Long Shui would not dare to allow them to enter the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. This was an extremely dangerous situation. Pearl, your tears are really powerful. They can quickly heal wounds. Xianxia asked. Not only can it heal injuries, it can also restore one's beauty. It can also be used internally or externally, especially for those old women with wrinkles. After using it, they can immediately regain their youthful and beautiful appearance. At this moment, Pearl was just like a young girl. She was extremely proud of herself when talking about her own merits. Xianxia laughed. Seems like it's very useful. If I need your tears, won't I have to bully you and make you cry? Pearl smiled coquettishly. Of course not. Come and find me when you need me. I can shed tears at any time. Kong Bailing chuckled. Elder brother Shin, little sister Pearl has just given us some pearl tears. They are so sweet. Her pearl tears should be used as an antidote for poisons. Although I have very little contact with the outside world, I have heard that her pearl tears can cure 100 poisons. So you're saying that Pearl also possesses the body of impenetrable? Xianxia was a little surprised. Yes, Pearl said smilingly. I'll get you a bottle of tears later. No matter what poison you're infected with, you can get the antidote just by drinking a drop. Any kind of poison is fine. Xianxia still did not believe that the Pearl's special ability was really too strong. If you could solve super old poison S, then it would be even more powerful. Kong Bailing said, within 9 Spirit Heavenly Sea, there are many poisonous beasts that possess highly toxic poisons. Some poisonous beasts' poisons are just as powerful as super old poisons. They can even be cured with pearl tears. Pearl giggled and said, Sister Bai Ling, I'm afraid I can't solve your eternal rest. Although this is the first time I've seen you, I know that you're the one who can use eternal rest. Long Shui said in surprise. It has been here for a long time. This is a strange poison that can turn living beings into white stone sculptures. If the stone sculptures are shattered, it would be equivalent to death. This name is really too devoid of poison. Xianxia exclaimed, and muttered to himself, Demon Curse Blood Orchid, Xue Qing 1. This also sounds quite good, but it's a strange poison that torments people. The magical corruption gas S and drunk god magical poison were the first to be grasped, and were also the most commonly used. Bai Ziqian had given the cursed blood orchid to him, so he rarely used it, because it was not beautiful at all when used. He also had Profound Han Poison S, but last time he killed one, and took away the poison sac, allowing him to master a large number of Profound Han Poison. And now, he had met a holy beast that had this kind of strange poison for a long time. He didn't think that this Kong Bailing, who seemed kind and shy, would actually be a woman who could control the strange poison. Pearls, other than you, who else would know that my special poison is naturally present in my white feathers? As long as I use a very thin feather, I will be able to poison it. Kong Bailing said with a little fear. If others knew I had this strange poison, they would have taken me away. Don't worry, other than us, no one else knows. Besides, how could you be so easy to catch? Otherwise, you would have been caught long ago. Sister Bai Ling, your poison is so powerful. You must have used it many times, right? Pearl laughed. It was all forced. I don't want to use it. It will be troublesome if I'm exposed. Kong Bailing said in a low voice. Don't worry, I won't hurt you guys. Xianxia said. Bai Ling, can you give me a feather? This, as long as the feather leaves my body and touches someone else, it is equivalent to poisoning them. You will become a white rock, and as long as no one breaks it, the rock will last forever. It is said that this is also a method to prolong life, but you have to have a way to cure it. Kong Bailing said, longevity. When your lifespan is almost up, you can use this method to freeze it up. Chun Xiang gained a deeper understanding of this strange poison. As long as it is preserved properly, there should be no problem for many years. If I can find a way to extend its lifespan, I can remove the poison from its body and extend its lifespan. If I want to treat the poison, Pearl's tears might be possible. Kong Bailing said, give me one, I'll try. If pulling an entire root hurts you, then just give me a little bit of it. Chun Xiang really wanted to see the results. No, like I said, once the feather leaves my body, it will have poison properties. Even if it's just a strand of it, it will still contain a powerful poison. Kong Bailing was in a difficult position, but she insisted. She was worried she would hurt Chun Xiang. Long Shui laughed. Bai Ling, you don't have to worry. He has the body of impenetrable, and there are a large number of magical corruption gas sealed in his body. The fame of the super-old poison spread far and wide. Even the heavens knew that, as holy beasts who had lived for many years. How could Kong Bailing and the Pearl not know that Chun Xiang actually had such a capability? Not only was it his impenetrable, but there were also a large number of magical corruption gas and drunk god magical poison. The 10 types of super-old poison all have very similar poison powers. It shouldn't be able to poison me after living for a long time, right? Chun Xiang said. Kong Bailing came out of the ring and carefully pulled out a short strand of hair. The strand of hair immediately transformed into a beautiful white peacock feather. Chun Xiang received it and looked at it carefully. At the moment, the white feather was releasing a white light. Holding it in his hand, he caressed it back and forth. It was extremely soft and comfortable, making him unable to let it go. Bai Ling, plucking feathers doesn't have much of an impact on you, right? Chun Xiang looked at Kong Bailing, who had a face full of worry, and laughed. Look, I am fine, am I not? It's fine. It will grow out soon. I'll have as much hair as I have on me. Seeing that Chun Xiang did not immediately turn into a white stone sculpture when he touched the feathers that were separated from her body, he immediately heaved a sigh of relief and revealed a sweet smile. Chun Xiang asked somewhat embarrassedly, then can you give me a few more? I want to make a fan. To use this kind of poisonous feather as a fan, in battle, the wind created by the fan might even be poisonous. Just thinking about it caused chills to run down one's spine. This isn't too good. After all, this is a rare poison. I usually refine it into a thin needle. Kong Bailing took out a small box. Inside it were many thin and transparent crystal needles. Seeing this, Chun Xiang's heart jumped. Kong Bailing looked shy and weak, but she was actually a poison expert. The crystal needles in her hands were all made out of strange poison. I was just joking. Chun Xiang put away the feather, looked at the crystal needle in her palm and asked, can you give me a few? Of course you can. I'll give all of them to you. There are over 1,000 of them in this box. When I'm bored, I can refine many of these peacock needles. I still have a lot on me. With regards to Chun Xiang, his savior, Kong Bailing was very generous. She smiled sweetly and handed the box of poisonous peacock needle over to Chun Xiang. No one would have thought that such a beauty would actually be born with a unique poison, and a rare longevity at that. Chun Xiang was very curious about her origins, but Kong Bailing had said that she only remembered the things that happened after she broke her shell, and did not know where he came from. Someone's approaching. It's the 4 saint rulers. There's no Thunder Emperor. Long Shui hurriedly told Chun Xiang, and then told him to quickly enter the Serene Jade Ring. Chun Xiang had originally planned to leave after this batch of holy saints arrived, so that they would come here for nothing. But now that Kong Bailing had given him the peacock needle, he naturally wanted to test its effect. If I'm going to deal with the saint, I'll need to insert at least 100 peacock needles into it. When I refine it, I'll only use it to deal with the Saint Lord. In the future, I'll refine some peacock needles specially used to deal with the Saint Lord. Kong Bailing heard from Long Shui that they were 4 Saint Realm experts and quickly told him the news. Bai Ling, you already have these powerful peacock needles. Why were you still captured by the saints? Long Shui didn't dare to touch the white peacock hair because he was afraid that he would become a statue. Kong Bailing sighed softly. At that time, I was besieged by several sacred masters, and some of them were far away, so it would have been difficult for me to prick them with a needle. However, I turned into a peacock and directly used my feathers to attack them, so I wouldn't have been caught, but my poison would have definitely been exposed. Kong Bailing didn't have a lot of battle experience. It was only when she fought alone that she dared to use the strange fossil poison. Being surrounded by so many people, this was her first time, and she lacked the ability to adapt. If it was Xianxia, he would protect his life no matter the cost. It's not easy to prick these peacock needles into someone else. Xianxia looked at the peacock needle. It was not made from a special type of poison that had existed for a long time, but it was made from a mixture of other materials and peacock feathers. If I refine it into transparent powder, it will be much easier to use. Xianxia immediately took out his Yanlong furnace and placed the box of peacock needles inside to refine. He injected the needles into the flames to remove the poison inside, as well as to remove the rest. To him, who often refined drunk god powder, it would only take a few seconds for him to finish it. Xianxia was in a rush, because the Yanlong furnace was emitting a weak red light when they were on the way here. The flames he was injecting were very strong. Although the Yanlong furnace was often used to refine poisons, every time he finished refining, Xianxia would clear it clean and did not leave any poison. Kong Bailing said, "Originally, I wanted to make the feather into powder too, but I do not know what to do. I have tried many times, but at most I could only make sand. It was very difficult to make that invisible transparent powder. When fighting with others, he found a good opportunity to quietly scatter it, but the other party did not discover it, and by the time he did, he had already inhaled a lot, which was the best way to poison them. Xianxia would frequently use this method, but only if there was no one else nearby and he wanted impenetrable. It will be very easy for me to teach you how to refine it in the future." Xianxia had a lot of experience, so he dared to say that it was easy. If it was any other alchemist, they wouldn't be able to guarantee it. Forget about refining this strange poison. Even refining normal poisonous plants would be extremely difficult for famous alchemist. Xianxia very quickly refined the 1,000 peacock needles into a small box of extremely thin, transparent powder. Once it was scattered, it would quickly merge with the air, but if one was a little more careful, it could be discovered. Only when used secretly during an intense battle would it be hard to discover. It is indeed here, the saint that had rushed over and surrounded Xianxia, but they did not approach him. They were around 300 meters away from him. Xianxia was an existence similar to the strong of Lord Stage S. He had already killed Jiang Shijian and a Hell Devil envoy previously, so those who came to kill him now had no choice but to be cautious. "The 4 of you are planning to kill me together, but Hell Devil Emperor is only offering a divine deity reward. How are you going to split the rewards?" Xianxia chuckled. He was extremely calm. "Your bounty has already risen. Now it has 2 divine deities, of the 4 of us, each with half a chance. There is no need for you to worry." A very short, middle-aged man said. Although he was only at the waist of others, no one dared to look down on his power and prestige. If he spoke now, the other 3 would probably listen to him. Xianxia felt that it was unexpected, but after thinking about it carefully, it was normal for the Hell Devil Emperor to increase the bounty, because he had taken down a Hell Devil envoy. So that's how it is. After Xianxia finished speaking, he suddenly disappeared. Just then, Xianxia's chi was very obvious. It suddenly disappeared, causing the 4-man team to think that Xianxia had escaped. They were floating in the air, looking around and trying to stay alert, at the same time searching for traces of Xianxia. Earlier, they had heard that Xianxia's ability to escape was top-notch, that he could even travel through space and not catch him. This caused them to be extremely disappointed, because it was not easy to meet Xianxia. They secretly regretted not learning the spatial sealing technique properly. Xianxia had disappeared, but he was hiding in a space that was completely isolated from this place, which could be considered tyrannical space. If a normal person fell into this tyrannical space, they would need a very long time to find the right direction to return, but Xianxia, who had mastered the laws of space, was able to come and go freely in all kinds of spaces, which also meant that his location was extremely accurate. Seeing that the four were about to leave, Xianxia immediately used his spatial energy, creating a fist-sized space beside the four of them. Then he sprayed a large amount of peacock powder that he had just refined. In but an instant, these peacocks had surrounded the four of them. They knew that they had been attacked by some strange object, and that it was just a gust of cold wind.